Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim who are tuning into these videos. This video is going to be a quick exhortation about the MOTB. And I want to start off by reading this in Jeremiah 3:15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And the knowledge and understanding that we're feeding you is the wisdom of the Most High and how to keep His commandments. And one of His commandments, the main one that we always go into, is about the MOTB and to not take it. And for those new listeners, new subscribers, maybe you're just now tuning in or have walked by a camp and for whatever reason you haven't came across this information, when we're out there on the highways and hedges, we have to be a little careful with our verbiage and how we say certain things. Because specifically during the 2020 situation, we were getting all of our videos taken down, all of our channels locked and suspended or whatever, because we were saying certain things. During that time, really the main thing that was happening was that Esau was policing up his internet and his algorithms. Because if you look at right now, all these videos with the AI implemented into it, it could make the CC caption very, very good. And no one out there is actively teaching the AI like this. It's actually just picking this up on its own. So that's kind of something that we had to be careful about when we were speaking. But when we are out there on the highways and hedges, when we say the MOTB, that is abbreviated for Mark of the Beast. Because during that time, it was very, very hard to push out videos when we spoke about this or that. Because it was misinformation. I'll just leave it at that. But like even in this video, I just want to be careful, circumspect with my verbiage so that this video doesn't get taken down. But nonetheless, we still have to, as the job of the shepherds, feed the pastures to the flock. And this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the knowledge and understanding of the Most High is about this breakdown. And when you're in those mindsets or in those predicaments, what are you going to do? What manner of person are you going to be in all holy convocation and godliness? Because we in this ministry are looking for and hastening the return of Yahweh Shai. So we know and understand with that there's going to come a lot of turmoil, a lot of hell, a lot of chastisements, and also self-analyzing and building and being purged in the furnace of affliction so that we may become gold like the golden wedge of Ophir. So all these things, when you get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you basically got a little bit of a understanding on how things work in the spirit. So whatever you're going through in the situations in your life, you lean upon Yahweh Shai because He is expecting you to be committed to this ministry and that you're not supposed to break His commandments. And one of that main commandment that there's not going to be any repentance is the MOTB. And I'm going to get into that point, and I read all these other precepts to prove my point and to go into that verse in Revelation 13. But I'm going to read some of this here in Revelation 14, because this is speaking about the end times when this is all said and done. And where it's written is why we emphasize that you do not want to take that MOTB, the mark of the beast. However Esau spins it and how he's going to manipulate the people and the masses into hurting them into taking this MOTB, you are supposed to be steadfast and loyal, unmovable, always abounding in the Spirit. And when you read these scriptures, they boost you so that you are able to prevail in those evil days. But this right here, this vision in Revelation 14, I'm going to read a little parts on the top, but then get to the main point on the warning, the emphasis on why you do not want to take that MOTB. And rather sup with Yahweh Shai, even if it means going hungry for a few days. Which, if you really understand this ministry that we're a part of, is that being hungry for a few days is nothing. That's something that we actually willingly do. We fast and pray. So we're pretty much training for that evil day to come. And also, we know that man can't live off of bread alone. These are scriptures that are only found in the words of the Bible and through the men teaching, the pastors that have been raised up in these last days to tell you these things. So I'm going to read this here in Revelation 14, and I'm going to I'll start at verse 4, because you got to remember this is a vision at the end, and the elect being delivered out of the situation that is happening with World War III, the missiles, all that stuff. But those people who are going to be delivered, the elect, are not going to take the MOTB. That's something that they're all going to have in common when they're with Yahweh Shai, being crowned. So I'm going to start at verse 4. It reads, "These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth." And this is a metaphor, similitude, if you will, that these virgins basically are I forgot how you say the word, but like they're not in the world. They do not have all these vain philosophies. Their mindset is 100% following the Lamb, Yahweh Shai. We're not into any of these other ideologies or ways of this world. Even though we're in this world, we're just pilgrims in this, seeking a kingdom to come. So being defiled with women represents because the elect is likened unto a woman, and they're virgins, meaning they have their garments clean, so that they do not have all these defiled mindsets and vain philosophies, and ultimately do not have an MOTB upon their garments. So and then they're following the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. So I'm going to continue on. It says, "These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High Yahweh and to the Lamb, Yahweh Shai." And in verse 5 it says, "And in the mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High." And even though Esau, Edom, the accuser of thy brethren, is going to try to do anything and everything to make us look bad, put us in a bad light, and try to shut our program down, he doesn't understand this is a spiritual movement, and that these people that are following the Lamb, they do not have guile, because if they accept Yahweh Shai and they study and they go to the camps, they sup with the brothers, they understand that Esau is going down, all these prophecies and breakdowns, the wisdom and understanding of the scriptures, the true wisdom, if I might add, then they're going to be protected. And that there's nothing that anybody can put a charge against the Most High's elect. And so, but mind you, that can't happen unless you yourself, being of the hopeful elect, don't take that MOTB. Because then if you did take the MOTB, then you would have a charge on you. You wouldn't be with an undefiled garment. You'd be basically a rebellious person. So I'm going to continue on. This is in... I'm just going to jump down a little bit. So this is in... Jumping down to... I'll start at verse 8. It says, "And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication." And that wine is vain philosophies. Basically, Esau, Edom has just had that ability to push forth lies and hypocrisies all throughout the four corners of the earth. This place is literally, physically, and spiritually defiled. All the people in their minds is just full of damnable heresies, pretty much. And all those people who are in Babylon, they're going to take that MOTB. Yeah, you're going to have a few people who are not going to take it because of reasons, but none of them are really going to take it for the main reasons, because they want to be a partaker of the wedding, to be there with Yahweh Shai, because they're keeping his commandments right now. Because also, it starts now, to study to show yourself approved, so that when the evil days comes, you are unshaken, unmovable. So continuing on, verse 9, it says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. So this angel is saying to all these people about this message, this warning right here for these people who are going to follow into Babylon, believing and trusting its lies and all of its so like the images that this place props up, or receive the MOTB, the mark, so that you can function in said society. Verse 10, it says, "The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." So that's fire and brimstone is speaking about World War III. And all these people who are going to take it are going to be in that fire. That's the lake of fire that the scriptures is speaking about. This place, this land, Babylon, which is known as America, is going to be the place that is going to be uninhabited when these missiles hit this place. You can read about that in Isaiah 13 and various other chapters amongst all of the other prophets speaking about this same vision. That's why they emphasize that you do not want to take that MOTB, the mark. And so I'm going to read in verse 11. It says, "And the smoke of their torment ascended up to ever." It's like it says, "ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushai." So this right here is a commandment. If you're going to get anything from these lessons, these videos, or walking by the camp, studying, or whatever, that is the main message, that you do not want to take that MOTB. You do not want to trust in Esau, Edom. And with everything that's taking place right now in the news, with ICE deporting the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, yes, also the blacks, they're being targeted because those are the real Hebrew Israelites that the scriptures are speaking about. Meaning, this message that you are to not take that MOTB, this warning, is directed towards you. I'll read this here in Daniel 8 and 25, because you have to understand that Esau, Edom, when the wicked rule, the people mourn, because we're seeking the kingdom to come. Where Israel is in rulership, where the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So with this devil getting ready to push that emphasis, he's going to deceive, or at least try to deceive, the elect. He's going to deceive many people, but if you get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, pretty much it's hard to forget. Now, with all that get understanding, go harder on the paint and chant down Babylon with us. Now that you have the know of what is to take place, this is the vision that is set for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, and it is speaking right now. And with like I was bringing up how Esau and those ICE agents are going around getting people, that is something that has been in the books of this government for years. That's something that they've been practicing, honing their skill, and constantly making sure that their New World Order agenda takes place. So he's going to make these policies. It's not a far stretch to see how Esau, the direction that he's going is that he's going to make a draconian law to put everybody on that grid. Now this is why we are kind of like tippy-toe when we're speaking these things, because it sounds incredibly like evil. It's like an evil plan that Esau, Edom, is about to establish. But really, this is coming from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. He's being directed to do these things so that we can experience it, and also to deny him when he asks us to bend the knee. So this is in Daniel 8 and 25. "And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand." Because Esau, Edom, if you want to be on his side, both hand in hand together, the wicked shall not go unpunished, he's not going to win this fight. He's not going to succeed with his New World Order agenda. Ultimately, he's doing this for naught. And the foolishness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, as it says in the book of Job, chapter 20. So he's going to do these draconian laws. He's going to try his best to try to get the elect. But ultimately, you hearing these words, you should be baptized with that. So now you have understanding. Now you are suited with spiritual armor, but you still have to hone that skill. You still have to practice in that armor and also want to achieve things in that armor. And that's what a good servant would do. So with that, you have to have like that mindset that, you know, pretty soon there's going to be a lot of chaos in this world. There's going to be wars, rumors of wars, and also they're going to start touching here in America and in various places around the world. And so you have to basically trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai with all your heart. And so these precepts right here is really the main way you overcome those things. Whenever you have an inward agitation, you have to fall back to the scriptures so that you're able to endure through whatever it is that you're going through. And ultimately, just don't take the MOTB. That's what it boils down to. If your integrity is for Yahushai, you're not going to take that thing no matter the causes. And this is a precept here to have that in your mindset about trusting in Yahushai. And whatever it comes up against you, you're going to prevail over that. So this is in Psalms 50, starting at verse 14. Offer unto the Most High thanksgiving, and pay thy vows unto the Most High. Verse 15. And call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. So we're going to call upon him in the day of trouble. And the day of trouble is when this devil actually pushes that mandate. So this is in Revelation 13, and I'm going to start at verse 16, because this is that draconian law that Esau Edom is going to try to fulfill. So in Revelation 13 and 16, it reads, And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hands or in their foreheads. So there's going to come a point where all of this cash, it's going to be done away with. All the transactions that you do, it's all going to be on the grid. You can see how the elites and the governments are starting to push away from physical cash and go cashless. That's why all of this AI stuff is ramping up, and they're pretty much getting ready to unveil their next stage, their next step of their plan. And like with Elon Musk, he's making that Neuralink. This basically is just proving our point. So I'm going to read in verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666. Chai stai stigma. But in this video, like this right here, I'm going to have that opportunity to go into that word mark. Like I was referencing in the beginning of the video, if you're just tuning in, you just came across these things, you're curious what it's all about, this is the main thing right here, is basically giving heed and warning of Yahushai and this message to not take this MOTB, to be loyal unto him. So if you go into the blue letter of this verse, Revelation 13 and 16, this is the Greek version of that passage. But if we go into the specific word mark right here, it's Strong's G5480, charagma. And I'm not going to play it because I'm recording on my phone. But if you go into this word charagma, you can click right here into the outline biblical usage. And it's a stamp, an imprint, mark, of the mark stamped on the forehead of the right hand as of the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. The mark branded upon horses, things carved, sculpted, graven work, or idolatrous images. So there's going to come a point where Esau Edom is going to mandate a charagma for everybody. They're not going to be able to buy and sell, meaning they're not going to be able to function in his society unless they have that stamp, that charagma. And it gets deeper than that, because if you go into the root word of charagma, it's karox. And that word right here is a pale or stake or palisade. So like if you ever saw a person making a fence post, that's basically what a palisade is. It's like a big stake that you put on the ground, and then you hit it on the top of the hammer so that it stabs the ground, and it gets fortified. That's how you build a fence. That's basically what a palisade or a stake is. So this charagma is going to be a sharp object. And again, this is why we police our verbiage, because we want these videos to be out and publicized, but ultimately Esau Edom doesn't want this word to come out. This word is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, and it's piercing and dividing the soul and spirit when we speak these things. Salakia. So when we speak these things, we're really chanting down Babylon. We're just basically telling Esau Edom his plan before he actually initiates it. He's probably just scratching his head wondering how we came across this breakdown and how it's basically crucial to his plan. Because this is literally what he's about to mandate with his draconian measure, is that everyone's going to have a charagma with a palisade inserted into their body. And it goes deeper, just one more. If you go into the root word there, it's grapho. And so this one right here is basically says to write with a reference to the form of letters, to delineate, to form letters on a tablet, parchment, paper, or other material, to write with reference to the context of the writing. So this charagma, the stamp that they're going to have on these people, the seal, is going to be something inserted into them with a palisade and written with information. And if you look at what those little rice grain devices are that they are trying to insert in people so that you can be able to buy and sell with just a ease of putting your palm over the scanner, that thing, that device has information written on it, so that when you scan at the, like say, the grocery store, it knows by the code and the numbers on your device that's going to go in the system and know that you just paid $5 for some food. And that's the information, the grapho, if you will, that's going to be written on that device, that stamp, that charagma. And so just to emphasize how I'm going into this video with this lesson about the MOTB, why you should not take it. And this is also the understanding here. And the scriptures makes it plain as day, writing the vision plain on table, so that he may run that readeth it. And with that, you can see, even in the news, I didn't pull up a news article in this video, but Esau Edom is inching closer and closer to the day where you have to deny this device. But with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash, and Shalom Akim.